Hello, guys. Thank you for coming to our, um, I guess this is episode 188 of our YOML, a year of particular learning. It's been I guess, is it 4 days since
Yeah,
we,
it's been like the longest break we've had for a
yeah,
long time,
yeah, because Chris has a family reunion and we don't
Yeah,
want for trains, and so we have to let let what be, right? And
yep.
so that's and then, but we're excited to come back, and today we want to talk about the purpose of life, I guess.
No, the purpose driven life
A
is
purpose driven life.
yeah. So this the book is called The Purpose Driven Life. What on earth am I here for by Rick Warren. The book is it's actually it's a so it's like it's supposed to be designed to be read in like a 42-day period. This is like a really famous book, honestly. Like this is like one of the most successful non-selling fiction books of all time. Like it's like in the top, like, I don't know, at least 50 or something like that of all time like highest selling nonfiction books. This guy named Rick Warren, he's a pastor of one of like those mega churches, I think, and he wrote this book called The Purpose Driven Life. Obviously, the Year of Magical Learning is all about and Living for Two is it's all about purpose, like living a
The
purpose driven
purpose.
life, right? So
Yes.
I saw this book and I was like, oh, well, this would be interesting. And it's actually designed to be consumed over like a 42-day period of time. So it's like 42 like 15-minute, short ish like questions or ideas or thoughts or whatever that you're supposed to kind of consume each day. And then I don't know why it's 42 days actually. But it I'm sure there was probably some significance to that. But yeah, so like I actually did this one with 42 days straight. It
Oh,
was
really? Okay.
one of my monthly challenges that I did for myself, and I was like, I'll try to do this like one day, once, for like 15 minutes a day while I'm reading other books or whatever, and we'll see how this goes. And it was interesting actually. It was an interesting book. I per, personally, it's not that I don't believe in God. I definitely do, and it's not that I don't believe in religion. I definitely am I've grown up in the Catholic faith. Like, I mean, it's not like it's a foreign concept to me. I loved everything this guy said in this book if he took the words Jesus and God out of it. Like, I mean, I just wish it would be, you know, about just the topic, like, in general of what he was talking about. The concepts that he talked about in the book, I thought were great. It
Hmm.
was just that always had this religious theme to it a lot of times, and like, God is one thing. I don't think God is religious. I think God is God. And a purpose driven life is a purpose driven life, whether you're a beaver or whether you're anything, right? Like you can have a purpose driven life, and I don't know that there is no Jesus of beavers to my knowledge. So
Hmm.
and there is no Catholicism for beavers. It's like they just do what they do, and they live their purpose driven life, and they are a child of a creature of this world, right? So if you looked at it from that lens, I would have been this book would have been, spot on with what I believe in all day every day. Instead, it was probably like 90%, just because it kept throwing in like um the church and religion, and like
Hmm.
the culture around religion a lot more into it, that it's not that I didn't believe in it. I looked past that, I guess, and was like this, that's fine. Like, it's, I don't mind. That's their culture, that's their purpose, like whatever, like all that good stuff. So anyway, so that was what the book was about. And it was great. It was really good. I get why it's been one of the most successful selling books of all time. So obviously, the reflection title of this one is My Purpose, right? Like, living for two. Like, this is about the purpose driven life. And what else would I write about with a purpose driven life, when the title is What on Earth Am I Here For? Other than my purpose, which is living for two, right? So I started this reflection off with and I'm not going to rehash a lot of this stuff, because we've talked about this a lot, over the course of this journey. But my personal purpose-driven life began, and the Year of Magical Learning is a part of all this, right? Like, back on April 22nd of 2020. That was the day that Amelia passed away at around like 5 a.m. in the morning. And I've told you the story many times, but you've read it in the book. Like, I got home that day, and it was really hard to get out of bed. We collapsed in bed after exhaustion, just pure exhaustion from like a 4-day battle, 5-day battle actually with Amelia, just fighting for everything with her being for a chance at life after her last surgery that resulted in a lot of complications. And on this particular day, on April 22nd, my wife and I got home at like roughly around 7 a.m. in the morning after all night long, staying up all night long with Amelia and my wife holding her for the last 7 hours or so of her life as we extubated her off of her ventilator and made the decision to slowly let her expire. And obviously devastated our family, like mind just completely, like, I mean, it's hard for me to sometimes even go back there because I can't, it's really hard to be put back in that frame of reference because it's almost something that I can't even recreate unless, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it felt like literal just like nothing, and we woke up that day and that's all I could think about, and it was just nothing in my head at all. And I was in a complete daze, and I don't know, after a couple hours of sitting in bed after we woke up around sometime in midday, the only thought that popped in my head is it's like, what would Amelia do right now? And it was get out of bed and try to fight, keep and endure. And that was when my purpose-driven life started. And that's when the year of magical learning really started. It was, put one foot in front of the other and channel my daughter's energy and try to find my way forward, just like, she would, and just like she did, and just like she showed me. So that was when the year of magical learning really began. And you, as you know, like that putting one foot forward was, that first day was just trying to get out of bed to eat and to move a little bit. But slowly but surely every single day it was spend time with my daughter and write and reflect and try to move my body and movement as medicine, like we learned with running for Sherman and all the other lessons we learned along the way, and learning something every single day and doing all these things with my daughter was how I found my path forward and my purpose in life. And that's what I call living for two. That's when I am finding she helped me to find my values on this journey. And when her and I are performing actions and activities that are aligned to those values, that's when I know I'm connected with her, and she's still here with me, and I'm still learning from her and experiencing life with her, and she's not gone. And that makes me feel better. Makes me feel like I have that connection with my daughter, and that is my purpose. That is why I'm on earth at this point in time, I feel like, and I don't think that'll change until the day that I die. That said, one of the interesting things about this particular book is this is officially the last book from before when I first started writing the Year of Magical Learning Reflections. It was about a year and a half after Amelia had passed away. So this was, I think, the challenge, the monthly challenge that this started on was in September of 2021. We're now, as we're recording this right now, it's late January of 2023, and everything that Amelia and I had read after the day that she passed away, up until September of 2021, so it was roughly about, I don't know, 16 months or something like that, or whatever it was. I had roughly consumed like 100 books in that period of time. Amelia and I were slowly living for two every single day. I, on a whim, we've talked about this as to why I decided to start doing this journey. But I felt like if we're like a reservoir and we're designed to be a river, I was soaking up a lot of life with my daughter, and I was ready to share it and let the dams break and let the river flow through a little bit, I guess, and to keep have this stuff flowing downstream and to share with the world. So that was what the challenge was about on September of 2021. So I started writing. I just started writing reflections based off of some of the books that we had read together and some of the lessons that we had learned. And after a couple of weeks of doing this, at the beginning, I just picked my favorite books and I was just writing through it, and, having a good time and sharing them with you and talking to you about it as we were doing other things. And eventually I got to the point in time where I couldn't just off the top of my head pick a book anymore, because couldn't remember them all, right? Like off the top of my head and start writing. So I made this big long list in my my Evernote of all the books that I had finished, that Amelia and I had finished together on this journey as we were, you know, finding our way forward and living for two and living our purpose together. This was the last book. There was about 100 books on that list, and every morning I would wake up and I would write, and I would cross one off the list. And then if I finished a new book, I would write that reflection, and then I would go back to the list the next day, if, you know, once that new book was done. And then, you know, that cycle went on and on and on up until I wrote this particular reflection, which was about 9 months in to that whole entire process. So it took me a full 9 months. I swear to you, the first day when I wrote all those books on there, I was like, I'm never going to finish this. I was like, this is insane. I was like, there's no way possible that I'm gonna do this, you know. And as I was finishing writing this reflection, it was kind of crazy to kind of look back down the mountain, I guess, if you will, and see how far Amelia and I had come, you know, at that point in time of living for two. So this would have been sometime in like mid 2022, I guess, that I wrote this reflection. And, you know, to think from where we were, from started with nothingness in your mind to every single day, bird by bird, you know, slowly continuing to understand yourself more and to live your values and your actions every single day, and the compound effect and all these things that we've talked about over this whole entire journey, to find myself writing this number 188, you know, so 88 books plus in the rears, plus the 100 that we started out this whole entire journey with, and to know like where we were going with this, it kind of made me feel really proud and made me feel really happy for you know, and fulfilled on my purpose driven life journey with my daughter, you know. And right now I'm on 325 is what I just finished this morning. So I'm officially hit another weird milestone with this whole journey. I am now fully caught up. Like I was posting these I'm still posting these every single day. So anybody that's been following along with this journey on social media might think that I'm reading a book a day, but which isn't true. This has taken me 3 years, you know, to get to this point in time, and we're almost to the goal, you know, which there is no goal, but we're almost to the goal, the original, you know, vision that set out all this stuff. But I'm about to hit a new milestone of I don't write every day anymore. I mean, this has been it's been like at least a month and a half or 2 months now since I officially caught myself, you know. So now it's only brand new books that are being finished that I'm writing reflections for. And I don't know how I maintain this. I really don't. Like, I swear to God, like, I mean, from 188 when I finished that list to where I got to like a few months ago when I hit like 300, I don't know how I was still writing every single day, Monday through Friday. I just went faster, I guess. I don't know. Like, I really don't know how I caught up with how I had that production going for that long. But I'm officially, you know, now I can only write like twice a week because I finish like 2 books a week now, you know, or sometimes 3, and the rest of the days I can't write anymore because I don't have anything else to write about. So it's kind of weird. I've hit a new milestone with this journey now, but yeah. Anyway, long story short, now I'm just rambling. The whole point of all this was, you know, I know what I'm on this earth to do, and I'm living for 2 with my daughter, and I know that if I keep following that path, I don't know where we're going, but you know, I'm excited to see where that takes us, and that's about it. So the question for everybody and for yourself, Drew, is, you know, what's your purpose? You know, what's your why on earth are you here? Or any other comment you want to talk about, that works for me too.
Right. I mean, to me, like what you're saying is, you know, where would this take us? Right? And to me, it's not about where it takes us, because you think about the book, The Alchemist. What's
Right.
the destination?
Get back home.
But that's where you are. So
Right.
what's the point?
Right.
What's the point? What's the point of carry around a spoonful of oil around the palace? Where are you going?
You're doing work while you're looking at this, exploring the world, you know. I
But the
mean,
thing is, you take the spoon of oil and you start walking, but you end up exactly where you were.
right.
So my question to you is, what's the destination?
There is no
It's not
destination.
about
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
There's
there's
no
absolutely no
destination.
destination. Yeah.
The purpose of walking around the palace is so you can experience the grandeur of the palace.
Right.
The purpose of our life is to experience the grandeur of life. The purpose of my life is to be the beaver. that dams, right?
I like it. Yeah.
And to me, I told you I want to be the Mexican fisherman. Fish a little, go, play a little, go talk to my buddies a little, and go have a time with my family and my kids for a little, right?
Yeah.
That's my purpose. Your purpose is to walk with Amelia through life. You are showing her from what I see from my where I'm sitting, you are taking her through your own life and say, look, I've know that you didn't get to experience the world. Let me show you and I'll bring you along. And to me, that's a beautiful purpose that, for me, I can resonate with. And like it doesn't have to resonate with a lot of people. It doesn't have to because everybody have their own purpose. But my purpose is to be that beaver that dams. I do what I want to do because it makes me feel good.
Right.
Right? I don't want to be the donkey in the shed because I can run, I can gallop, I can do whatever I want to do in the field. I enjoy being outdoor. I don't want to be locked up in the shed, be pampered or whatever. There's no destination for me. And at least that's what I see because of all the things that I've seen. It's not about the destination. You're not like, okay, because we talk about this, you want to go onto a vacation. Well,
Right.
what's the destination? You're going to come back to the same place,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, you go on vacation is hurry up and pack, hurry up and get to the airport, hurry up and get on the plane, hurry up and take off,
Right.
right? Hurry up and close the fucking airplane door so we can take off. And then when we take off, say hurry up and land, right?
Right.
Hurry up and open doors and get out. So it's not about the destination. That's not what we as human being wants.
Yeah.
We
No, I
want
agree. We just got back from a trip. Like it's a, Luca was way happier when we got back than when we were traveling. He didn't like sleeping in his stupid, pack and play. He didn't like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, he didn't like being out of his element. He didn't like eating weird food. He didn't like, anyway, yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, I mean, it always feels good to come home for sure,
Right, and
yeah,
that's the thing is when when you do your purpose, when you do whatever that it is your purpose, right? It makes you feel different, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
It makes you feel different, right? It has nothing to do with logic. You say, well, you're talking about a person want to conserve energy, for example. If you want to conserve energy, why would you want to walk at all, right?
True. Yeah.
But what we want to, sometimes we even want to run and exert more energy and exhaust ourselves and for whatever say, hey, it makes me feel good. So it's not about the logic of one thing or another. It's about the experience you get. And the experience you get depends on who you are and who you made to be. And if somebody tells you to be this and do that, right? It may sounds good. It may be enticing to you, and you may get a dose of dopamine for a short period of time, but it does not last because that's not
Right.
what you really want to do.
Right.
I mean, you think about all the things. I say I want to be famous, like some actor that, whatever. But that thing is, I can't take the the hateful comments online. Right? You know what I mean? So to
Right.
me, I won't even focus on the thing I've got that was good. I focus on the negative things that I could not handle.
Right.
And so for me, my life as that guy that I initially would want to be like would be miserable
Yeah.
because that's
Yes.
not who I am.
Right.
Because the other people who can live a life of, stardom can withstand the negative comments, then it doesn't phase them. It doesn't takes away the positive feeling that I have. So that's for me is you have to know. So to me, your purpose in life is to find out who you are and live it, right? So
Yep.
a quote I've seen somewhere. It said, your purpose in life is to find your gift, right? And then you have to give it away, right?
That's good.
Whatever
Yeah.
whatever gift that you have, you give it away. When you give that gift, That gift doesn't diminish. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
You think about it, the gift that you have, whatever your gift is, and you do it for people, right? That gift continues to live on. It doesn't go away. It's not like, hey, it's a zero sum game that, hey, you give it away, it's gone. It's
Right.
actually when you give it away, it's whenever you have a gift, it becomes bigger and more manifest.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, that, like,
Right?
look at this journey. I mean, like, it has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't make any sense. Like none of it makes any sense, but like it's enjoyable, and I get to, and I get to do this with my daughter every day, and then we get to give it away. Like, and that's great. Yeah, I mean, like, my aunt, I just told you we went down to Florida and had like a de facto family reunion of a bunch of the Sears family that I hadn't seen in a while. And you know, my aunt, I haven't seen her since, you know, before COVID. And she lives in Houston, and yeah, she lives in Houston with you, down there with
Cool.
you. So yeah, I think she's like near like
Or
Galveston.
not with me, but
Yeah. And and you know, she was always there, supportive, obviously, of like my family when we were going through with Amelia and
Mhm.
with Luca too. I mean, with Luca Luca had his own challenges, but you know, he's his own, you know, unique bird, and he's doing, you know, he's fine. But you know, I
Good.
hadn't seen her in three, you know, for probably 4 years or something like that. And you know, she made sure that she let me know, like, you know, that she was there with us the whole entire time, and she just wanted to like come up and talk to us about it, talk to me about Amelia, and talked about, you know, the book and things that she felt when, you know, and I know she shared that with me via like text or Facebook Messenger or something like that, but that was the first time we'd seen each other in person in a while. And you know, when I hear comments like that, like, I still feel weird about things like this, to be honest with you. Like, if somebody, whenever like my team asks me about like these reflections, or they say anything to me about the stuff, and like, you know, how, like, you know, if it inspires them or doesn't or whatever, and like, you know, the stuff that they talk to me about, or like even our own journey, I feel really weirded out by it, to be honest with you, because it's like, I didn't do this for anybody else. I didn't write that book for anybody else. I did it with Amelia. That was it. Like, whenever I sit down and write every single day, like, it's my time to connect with her, and to be, and to live our purpose, you know,
I
and
mean,
to
that's what I'm saying. Is you
right,
are walking around the palace and you're just taking her with you because
right.
you saying, look, you know, I brought you into this world, but unfortunately, you didn't get a chance, right, to continue
Well,
the
not only that,
lesson,
she's my teacher. I mean, she
right?
was she was my soul. I just finished this book called The Way of Integrity, and like, it talked
Hmm.
about soul teachers in one portion of it. You know, the people that like literally, like, you know, help you to they're usually people that live a different life than you, and they're countercultural, you know, and they do things a little bit differently, and there's somebody that helps you to find your own way, you know. And like Amelia, without ever speaking a word, I just wrote about this morning, without ever speaking a word, she taught me more than anybody's ever taught me in my entire life, like, without
I
any,
mean, from my perspective, she changed your life.
she 100% did it. She does every day still, like, and that's why, like, this journey is no longer, she was my soul teacher at the beginning of all this. She set me on my journey. She laid the tracks. She was you know, she still is a little lioness that you know, that I still follow through, you know, track after track, you know, living our values together. Like, and I don't know where we're going, like we said in that book a long time ago, like the line tracker's guide to life, you know. I don't know where I'm going, but I know how we'll get there. And that's what we do
But
every
that's the
single day,
thing
is
is,
we take a step.
if your daughter were here, right, like physically here, and she said, "Hey, Dad, let's go take a walk," and you say, "Well, where do you want to walk?" She say, "Well, doesn't
I don't
matter."
know, just, yeah,
That's
just
the
let's go.
point.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the point, right? So
Exactly.
that was what I'm saying is, you know, it's not about where you guys are going. It is not about where I am going. It's about the
Just going.
experience
Yeah,
that you
right.
have with her walking, right? That's what I'm
Yep.
saying. You can go and ask Felicia, "Hey, let's go for a walk," right? And you say, "Well, where should we walk?" She would say, "I don't really care."
Yeah, just
The point is, I'm walking with you, right?
exactly.
So to me, that's not like we're saying in the alchemist. Where is the destination,
Right.
right? In when the guy was walking through the palace, where was the destination? He walks from one place and he end up at the same place he was before. So the destination isn't that important. Let's say you run down to the right? You can circle back to where you are, right? You can run to the left and you go circle back to you are.
Right.
But the point of life and the point of all these things, and even all these references from the book, is the experience that you get to have with the people that you have connections and meaningful relationships with, that makes that memory memorable.
Yeah, it's meaningful work and meaningful work and meaningful relationships. It's what we've talked about for forever, and that's the principles that Club and you're built on. Is those same philosophical principles of, like, if people can do what they want to do with the people that they want to do it with, then I have a very good feeling that their life will be A, sustainable, B, purpose driven, and C, like, we may not be going anywhere, but at least we'll all enjoy it together until we can't, and then hopefully, I don't know what's beyond after this, but like, I don't know, maybe there's something, maybe there's not. I don't know, but either way, I feel confident knowing that we're maximizing, not maximizing. I don't want to say maximizing, because, like, what does that even mean? That I am every single day enjoying the time that I have on this earth.
I mean, basically,
and that's all that matters.
You get to be what you want to be.
Right.
I get to be what I want to be, and that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point, right? Don't miss the point. You have to be who you want to be, right? And a lot of times we don't ask ourselves what is that we want to be and who we are, because I said before, there's certain things that you're being told that you should want.
That's culture. That's
That's
what
culture.
culture is. Yeah. And
Right?
nature is the opposite of that. Like, nature is fighting culture. Like so
Well, culture is man-made, and because
I
we
know
of the double-edged sword,
right.
right?
No, it's
You have
culture's
the
beautiful.
ability. Well, it
Yeah.
depends on how you use it. You can use it for good, or use it for bad, just like a sword or a gun will be. I mean, I say, give somebody a sword, right? He can defend somebody and be something like beautiful, or
Right.
something very evil, and take that sword and suppresses people and kill people with it. And
Right.
so culture is the same way. Culture is the effect of our superpower, our ability to spread ideas from one person to the next, and have that person be agreeable to that. That's what culture is. It's a belief in the same concept of things. And when we do that, right, let's say the culture is to suppress people, and we want to suppress people. Well, to me, in my view, it's wrong, because you're suppressing people from being who they are, right? You can say, well, Germany has a culture in 1940s, right? 1930s and 1940s. They say, well, I believe in this thing. I believe that, we should save the Aryan race. They believed it. That's why they agreed to kill all the Jews, because they believed it, right? That's culture. But looking back at it, was that a good thing, or was it a bad thing, right? So,
all
but
those
it's still
knew
culture, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. No, like that, and that's the really interesting part. This is why I was trying to tell you to read that book, The Way of Integrity. I think you're gonna really like it, because it's a lot about these kind of topics in general. But like, there is a way to combat culture, and that's build your own culture. Because, like, you're either living somebody else's culture or you're building your own. And that is the biggest lesson that Amelia taught me. Upon reflection of everything, you know, everything that we all went through together.
The culture, like you said before, culture is good if it comes from the true intention. Just like we're talking about the bread, the bread culture, right?
Yeah.
The startup culture that you talked about before, right?
Right.
It has to be true. It has to be true.
Right.
If it's not true, it doesn't last, right? So the problem with these, like, when you have a true culture, let's say we are, so we are depending on that for survival. Where we talking about having woolly mammoths, having Neanderthals trying to, annihilate us from the face of the earth, right? We gather together and form our own culture and become this super organism that we survive past, and we make the woolly mammoth and the Neanderthal extinct, right?
Right.
Because that was true, because that's what we want to survive, and that's true. And then over time, people say, well, if we can do that, that's our human nature. Let me trick it and say, well, I'm going to do this for the good of humanity, blah blah blah. But it wasn't, and it was for profits. And
Right.
this is where it become like gray area, where culture it becomes the things that kills you, not the things that saves you.
Exactly. I mean, and that's like I guess the way that I like look at almost my life at this point in time is, before Amelia, like I lived, I was the product of a culture, um, and I did what I was supposed to try to do in that culture. I fought it, and when I fought it, I got a lot of, I ended up having panic attacks and things like that, and anxiety and stuff like that, right? Because I knew that wasn't who I wanted to be, but then I also knew that is who I wanted to be, and like that split dichotomy in your mind will drive anybody insane. What Amelia taught me, the 100%, the number one lesson that I learned from Amelia was, what matters in life in general, and that is, for her, like it was just the shot at life and enduring and fighting and keeping moving forward, but also living a life of purpose and meaning and values in general. She did it every single moment of every single minute of every single waking hour that she had on her time in this earth. And when I saw that, that was when, and this took a long
The
time
flight
of living
switch,
through
right?
too, right? Yeah, like that whether Amelia was still here with us or not, like I still saw that from her from day one with
Yeah.
her, like and for me, like that showed me as my soul teacher. She showed me, like, you don't have to do what other people say to do. Like that's not, you can just be you and be okay with that, and try your
And
best to
you
be
should be you.
who you
And
want to be, right?
to me, that's the whole point.
Right.
You
Life
should be
is
you.
life is short. Yeah.
And I want to add to that is that when you say, the way to combat the bad culture, to
It's to
me,
build your own.
the key, no, the key to combat bad culture, is to learn who you are and be who you are. Because
Of course.
if you are who you are, and let's say you value integrity and you value human life or whatever, no propaganda from any government
Right.
can persuade you to say, well, this is the right thing to do. You can't say, well, if I value human life and I value kindness, no German soldiers, no German chancellor, no fast talking gurus in power is ever going to persuade me
Yeah.
as a German citizen to say, hey, it is okay to kill all these people because we are, doing something for the good, for the greater good, is to purify this Aryan race of ours and whatever it is, right? You can't, it conflict with how I act and how I behave, right? What I
Right.
believe. Because if I don't know who I am, then it's easy for them to say, yeah, this is good for the greater good. You need to sacrifice a little for something better, right? Who can argue with that? But if you say, let's say I say, well, what would you do $4 million, right? What would you betray Amelia and get rid of her memory for $1 million? Would you do it? I ask
No.
you right now, would you? Exactly. You know why?
Yeah, that's
Because
insane.
you knew who
Right.
you are.
Right. Yeah, that's
Because
insane.
if you don't know who you are and you're still confused, and I give you that choice, you would, one, first of all, you're gonna hesitate in making decisions. And
Right.
second, you're going to second guess yourself and say, well, maybe I should, because maybe I can do something better with that, and whatever I can, I don't know, whatever it is, you second guess yourself, and whatever it is that you think is going to have no impact on the not following the math, because that's all points to, without an anchor, you're going to be washed with the waves. This is
Yep.
all you can do, is you're going to be washed along with the waves. That's why having an anchor is so important. And having an anchor is understanding who you are. Like I say, if you're a beaver, you cannot be a lion, regardless of how proud and how, whatever the terms of majestic, for example, a lion might be. and how popular a lion might be. You don't want to be a lion if you're not a lion. It is not who you are. You cannot
Right.
change who you are.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, like you can't like it's I think we've had this reflection before. I can't remember. I know that I can't remember if we've done it. I know that I've written about this before in the past, but it's either you dictate to culture or culture will dictate to you. Either way, somebody's always
Yes, you either
some
live life or life
right.
will live you. This is what I said before,
Yeah,
even before I read all these books. But that's the
right.
thing is, if you don't live your life will live you.
Yeah,
Because
100%. Like, I mean, you don't. It's not really an option. You can't even just sit still. Like, I mean, people might say, "Well, I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing." Well, I even doing that, like, you're every
well,
waking
if you
minute of
do
every single
nothing,
day.
you let things dictate for you.
But you can't
It's only
move. Like,
two choices. There's only two choices. Either you dictate or it dictate you. It's one or two. There's no middle ground.
but even if you barricaded yourself off in a room, like then you're a donkey in a shed. Then then there's a you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing going on. Great, you're just killing yourself at that point in time. Like I mean, like we have to move. Like we are that movement is a part of our lives. Like so you're either moving in your direction or you're moving in somebody else's direction. And that's like I refuse to go in somebody else's direction. Now, if there's other people that want to join you along the way, in the direction you're going, and you find another crew of beavers, like then you build a culture around that, and then you have a little
Hmm.
beaver culture that builds dams, and that's fine. Like that's fine. Like that, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, but it's because you were going in the direction that you wanted to go. That's why you and I talk every night. Like it's not like
But
like
that's the thing. If you and I get to the point where the decision we make, it is so clear. There's
mhm,
no hesitations
right.
in saying, is this what we want to do? We know right away, yes or no, right? Because we have asked ourselves this question before, and because of that, we know and we can be, um, we are convicted. Conv- we have the convictions with what we choose, right? And we can stand on our own island and not be needing to have social proof to say, hey, maybe I'm second guessing myself, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should go with the popular belief or the masses or whatever. This is part of our human DNA as well. But the thing is, it's only because we are uncertain.
Right.
When we are uncertain, we look for social proof to make
Yep.
sure we're not going to be the one that's going to left out in the cold and can't survive. But once we know for certain, we have the convictions to stand regardless of what happens.
Agreed, but also don't do it alone. So like, but when you stand by yourself,
And to me, the first
others
step,
will.
I mean, the thing is, yeah, I do agree with all
Well,
this thing that comes after that, but it cannot happen without the first step, because
agreed.
you
Yeah,
cannot
yeah,
go say, hey, let me join your group, right? Without knowing who you are first, because you
I
join
agree.
in the wrong group because you don't know. And I don't know, right? I don't know if you're the right person. If you don't know yourself, how do I know you're the right person for the group? So the first thing you have to
Yeah,
do, the first step is you have to know yourself, and you have to know what group resonates with you. What group
that'll just
is
find you.
going to give
In my
you the
opinion, that'll just
benefit.
that you'll just find each other at that point in time. Like,
You're
because that's
going
how.
to you're
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to you're going to gravitate towards one another.
right.
That's to me is I mean, to me that's a byproduct. That's automatic.
Yeah,
Once you understand who you are, you say, this is who I am. You're going to naturally gravitate toward the common culture, the common whatever that you share. You will gravitate to one another.
and
This is
you know what
what this.
you know what the funny thing is about companies that we keep harping on, like that if you listen to all of our stuff, you would probably think that we hate companies. Like that's not true. I don't hate commerce at all. But do you think, this is an honest question, like do you think there's any employee in this entire world, in corporate America, at least in corporate America, that if you ask them, would you work at this place for free, what do you think they would say?
Hell no.
Hell no. Hell no. Like is the answer, they'd be like, but you could say what we're saying, right? What you just said, do you gravitate toward each other? Do you know why you're here? There might be places to go, I really want to work at Facebook. Like I love the product. I love the vibe. I love, like, everything that they got going on over there. Great. Like, I'm a part of I fit their culture. and then you get in there and you're like, would you do it for free? Fuck no.
No.
Like, I mean, there's no way in hell that I would ever go dedicate 60 hours of my life and to a culture that was, you know, dedicated to meeting quarterly, you know, goals and profits and whatever, and yada yada yada, and just do it for fun. Like, because it's not fun. It's not fun. Nobody ever has fun, but like they make it just shitty light enough that you know that you feel like you're enduring it, but all you're doing is running uphill. Like, and I, once again, I do not want to shit on corporate America or something like that, because once again, you either live in your culture or your culture will live you kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What we're trying to do is to take these concepts, exactly what we're talking about right now, and say, would you do this for free? If so, come join our team. Like, you know, and that's it. Like, and we'll all figure out what we all love to do for free, and we'll do it together. And our theory is you can build commerce around that too, you know, because I guarantee you can eventually, right? Like, because that's really
Yeah,
how.
I mean, there's values in
Right.
everything and every experience. Just like I'm asking you, hey, Chris, would you play tennis for free?
I do. I pay for it.
That's my point exactly. And so there's people who
Right.
wants to play tennis, right?
Right.
They're gonna play for free. And the thing is, when they see you play, they can learn something. They're gonna come for free, and they're
Yeah.
gonna do. Thing is, when you say play and work, it's the same spent of energy,
It is.
but it's the wording that tells you the perspective. Hey, I want to expend this energy. I don't want to spend this energy.
Right.
They don't
No.
want to spend the
Nobody.
energy. It's called work, and
There
they
is
want
nobody
the one
that
that
would tell
want
you
to
that.
spend the energy. That's called play. That's why I say, would you work tennis for free?
No.
No, you want to play for free, but not work for
Right.
free,
Right.
because work dictates the perspective of where you look at the effort of the spending the energy to. If you spend
So
energy something that you don't want, it's work.
so would you play Facebook is the question. Should be the question. Or any company, because you can't say, because companies are just labeled as work, but every company is different. So would you play Facebook?
You asking me or what?
Yeah. Would you play Facebook?
No.
Somebody would. The earliest employees did. They played Facebook. They loved it. They had a great time. Like, that's why Mark Zuckerberg and his buddies, you know.
Yeah, of course, of course. But
Yeah.
that's the thing is, you asked me if I would play Facebook. I don't, because I don't belong in that group.
I
Right?
know. But I'm saying, my point is there were people that wanted to play Facebook for free.
Yeah.
Because they liked it. Like, and they built a culture around that. And then that culture is no longer playing Facebook anymore. That culture is working Facebook. Like,
Yeah.
and that's not fun. Nobody wants to do
Yeah. They're
that.
pushing agendas and pushing content and doing things they don't want to do. Then it becomes not fun. Then it turns to work.
It's awful. Now you have to keep, like, anyway. I think we can beat this dead horse for forever. But either way, I think any final thoughts for the night?
Yeah, you gotta be beaver. Be beaver. Don't be something else.
Yeah, this one was queued right
Be
up for you to,
yourself.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
take it every chance I get.
I
I'll
know.
take
Yeah,
it.
I mean, hey, this one was right up. I mean, right
You
up the
just
alley. The
cue
purpose driven
right
life.
into
Yeah,
there for me to
right,
say,
right,
beaver must stand.
right.
I'm a
So
beaver. I must stand.
this is officially signing off the last book from prior to the Year of Magical Learning writing adventure starting. So wave goodbye. Well, actually, that's not technically true. I wrote multiple reflections in the coming reflections around things like my top 5 favorites, like the happiness hypothesis or the black swan or thinking fast and slow and things like that, right? So technically there is a few books that I do multiples of in the future from going beyond, but this is the last unique new title from Your Magical Learning. So or sorry, pre-writing for Your Magical Learning. So hey, we hit a milestone.
Yeah.
That feels good. Thanks for doing this with me. I was pretty I had a pretty shitty week last week. I'm not gonna lie, Drew. I mean, I had a good time when we finally, got to record. But before last week, I felt a little off balance, and this made me feel good again. So thanks for
Yeah.
doing this. And it's good to see you. Yeah,
Yeah. Sounds good. Have a good night.
awesome.